I want to welcome everyone. I'm Tracy Moffett, part of the AGM education team. And with me is Jennifer Morton, our Director of Marketing and Sales. I'd like to thank you all for taking part in today's education series webinar, presented and made possible by Swet Tailor, a silver level vendor partner and sponsor of the AGM. I hope you've come ready to hear some great info on the changing look of modern golf. I'd like to extend a very warm welcome today to those who might not be so familiar with the AGM. We have quite a few other company representatives on here. AGM is an international association dedicated to strengthening golf merchandising profession through educational platforms. Our members and vendors, I must say, are the best in the world, in the industry, right? Jennifer will put a link in the chat for anyone wanting to learn more about the AGM, and also our exciting Certified Retail Manager Accreditation Program, which there's a bunch of people on here today that have completed or are working their way through that program. And also our premier event coming in January, the AGM Retail Conference and Product Preview. Swet Tailor is going to be in the product preview, right?
Yep.
Yes, yay.
They sure are. Yeah.
Date is Tuesday, January 24th, and I can tell you it's going to be an awesome day. So Jennifer will also put a link to that in the chat. Just a few notes before I introduce our presenters. Please keep yourself muted during the presentation to avoid background noise. If you have come prepared with questions or have any during the presentation, use the chat icon that looks like a cartoon conversation bubble on your bottom or top bar, depending on your screen, and type them in the chat. Jennifer and I will be monitoring those, and then we'll pass those on to the Swet Tailor team at the end of the presentation for questions. All right, I'd like to start now. I'm going to have David and Jim from Swet Tailor introduce. Actually, I think David's introducing both of them. Yep. And then I'm going to show you a quick video just to give you an overview of what Swet Tailor is all about, those of you who don't know it. So David, the floor is yours.
Great. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Jennifer. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're super excited to do our first webinar and excited to meet a lot of you at PGA. And if you can come to the product preview show, I think it would be really great, because what you're going to learn about us today is that we're all about fabric. There's a specific reason we started Swet Tailor that we'll get to in a little bit. And it's really addressing the need of what we think and see out there is happening in modern golf, and how we can help you both in pro shops and events and in club. And so I'll come back to myself in a little bit, but first I wanted to introduce Jim Ireland, who's been in the industry for so long, and he's been a fantastic addition to our team over the last year, a little bit over a year now. So I'm going to let him say hello, and then I'm going to jump back on. So Jim, I'm going to have you say a few words.
Thanks, David, and thanks everybody for kind of indulging us post-holiday to talk a little bit about modern golf and modern golf clothing. Kind of a unique spot for me, because I'm the golf geek in the room, right? I've been the one that's played golf since I was pretty much born, been in the golf industry, followed my dad in the industry, and it really has been a great kind of rejuvenation of me to work with David and Adam Bolden, who will share with you as well as who he is, because they have a very different approach to golf. And I've been with some very traditional folks in this industry, loved every minute of it, but this is probably more fun than I've ever had in 40 plus years of being around golf. So I think the only other thing I would add is we'll answer any question you got at any time. Don't feel like you're going to interrupt. Put them in the chat. David and I will both address them, and then I'll let David take it from there.
Great. Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, so I'm David. I'm one of the founders of Swet Tailor with Adam. I've known him for 15 years, and just real briefly about me. Yep, there we go. I grew up in Madison, Wisconsin. So I'm from the Great Lakes. I'm from the Midwest. It's where I grew up. Wonderful place to be raised, and I've lived in Los Angeles for a long time. I've been in the industry since I graduated college. So I was on the buying side, so worked for large retailers like Kohl's, Old Navy, May Merchandising Company, switched to the manufacturing side and sold all those kind of stores, department stores, specialty stores, both on the men's and women's side. And then we started Swet Tailor in 2015. So it's interesting, as the industry has changed a lot. I kind of went from buying to sales to entrepreneurial. And so it's been interesting for me to kind of stay ahead of the curve with what's happening out there. You know, things have changed quite a bit. when Adam and I started Swet Tailor, the whole purpose of it is that we really looked for, hey, what niches out there in the market? What things do we think are missing? And what can we do to sort of address that? And, what we did with Swet Tailor is that, one of the things that we really have noticed as a long-term trend is this casualization, of the world. However, what we noticed is that, especially in men's sportswear, and women's is to come in 2023 for Swet Tailor, which is exciting. But for men's, we noticed that most golf clothing was rather traditional. And then also just in the sportswear world, it was also very casual. So when people thought of they like to use the word athleisure, it was hoodies and sweats and it was sloppy. And we felt that with our background in the industry in women's and men's, that we would take fabrics that you understood, whether it's a 5-pocket pant, a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, a button front shirt, a polo, and put them in fabrics that the consumer would absolutely love. But more importantly, they could wear them every day, everywhere, which is one of our hashtags. And so we felt that we could create a brand that felt good, was easy to take care of in terms of, machine washable, was priced at a good value because the quality of the clothing lasts, and also the price point makes sense. And then we felt like we were just dressy enough where you could wear our things to work, you could travel in them, you could lounge in them. And as it relates to golf, we always felt from the beginning that we were this kind of new look of modern golf, because many of our styles you can wear on the golf course, but all of them you can wear off. And so just with our background, in terms of both in the golf business and not the golf business, we feel like what we've seen is that we've been warmly embraced because the hand feel of our fabrics are really good. We'll talk about that in a while. We're very easy to do business. We carry stock and inventory in Los Angeles, so we're great to test, try. We're very flexible. If we do something in your club or in an event, something doesn't work and something does, we're very good about swapping. And so what we have wanted to do is to do something that's different, that doesn't already exist in the pro shop, in the clubs that you have, or you start thinking of us when you need special items for events, which we do a lot of pop-ups and events at clubs, which has been really, really great for us. So as we've grown, we've been really excited how people have been responding to us and how we have worked very well and kind of seamlessly in the golf market in terms of offering something different that maybe isn't covered in the pro shop, right now. One of the things you'll like about Swet Tailor when you get to know us is that we have a lot of cotton stretch product, but we also have a lot of performance stretch product. So we can tailor to your climate, to your membership, and we do personals. But what's nice is that a lot of our cotton stretch product is natural fibers, sustainable is on its way coming. Many of those styles members are already wearing on the course. And then of course the performance, there's a lot of that in the pro shops. And then with Swet Tailor, we have our take on what performance means to us, and that's growing. So we offer a nice variety that you can kind of cater into your club, and also, test, react, use our information. And like I said, because we carry stock, we're very easy to do business with. We're very easy to get going quickly with. So that's really why we created Swet Tailor. We felt there was really a void in terms of an opportunity for people that wanted to dress that don't always look like they just came off the golf course. And it's probably one of the things that people tell us the most, is that we really love the brand, not only how it feels and fits, but I can go play golf or tennis or pickleball and I don't need to change, or it doesn't look like I just came from the club. And that's, with convenience, that's one thing that we're noticing with people, is that if they don't have to change, that's an added bonus.
All right, are we ready for the video?
Yes, that would be great.
Swet Tailor became Swet Tailor because sweats were traditionally relaxed, baggy, Some people would say they look a little schluffy. Didn't really look good going out in sweats. So what we wanted to do was we set out to make our sweats tailored, and then tailored sweats became Swet Tailor.
Our top 2 selling pants are the all-in pant and the duo pant, and the reason that we were inspired to create them first was the all-in pant, which is how we started the company. It really was our idea of taking a sweat pant and combining it into a 5-pocket jean silhouette, and as we both knew ourselves from wearing it, you can wear it anywhere. So it's a very casual and super comfortable pant.
I think these styles have taken off in such a big ways because for so long in the marketplace, you've either had jeans, chinos, trousers, or sweatpants, and like nothing in between. They all kind of remain mutually exclusive. So what we did is we took your favorite fitting fabrication, like a sweatpant fabrication, put it into a 5-pocket pant, and from there, this customer realized, hey, I can wear this to work, I can wear it to commute into work, I can wear it on the golf course, I can wear it to travel into, I could actually sleep in these pants as well. So it literally became everyday, everywhere. Sweat in golf was, I always like to say, it was a fortuitous bounce. We have found that guys like to wear the same outfit throughout their entire day. Little did we know that over 30% of our customers were avid golfers.
Right. And you also, being a golfer yourself, felt very strongly that as Swet Tailor grew, we had an absolute place in the golf market.
And it's more than golf.
Yeah,
It extends to what you always like to say is hiking, I think more tennis and pickleball. Yeah. But the truth of the matter is, it's become its own active line without being a true dedicated active line.
So
fun. So that gives you an overview about what their product is. And David, share a little bit more from this, and then I have some questions.
Okay, great. So getting back to why Swet Tailor, again, why we created the brand is, and we call it the Golf Meets Not Golf brand because we are for the course, but we're also for everywhere off the course. And we're finding a lot of clubs, and events that happen. So, like we talked about, it's really important to us that you can wear the product, both on and off the course or on and off the court. And so it's one thing that a lot of clubs have really been really happy with that, have started business with us over the last couple of years. One of the points I had mentioned earlier is that I know a lot of times clubs may have certain brands that you do business with, or as businesses, whether it's fantastic or it's tough, sometimes to get a new brand in is a little bit tricky. Where the dollar is going to come from? Where are we going to put it? And so we're used to those kind of situations. And so how we handle it is 2 ways. One is, like I mentioned, we carry a lot of inventory in Los Angeles. And the advantage of that is it gives us the ability to ship quickly. We love to test and react. We're very happy to recommend based on your membership and your geography, what we feel is really strong, while of course we also, work with you on that. But we are very flexible and we try and be really fast. And so another advantage just, with doing business with us. We also carry, if you could go back to that screen really quick, that'd be great. We also do logos, so we can ship product as is, and we can also decorate with any of the membership logos or needs that you have, not a problem, whether it's printing, embroidery, things like that. Very easy for us to do, usually just adds on a week to 10 days, generally speaking. We ship out of Southern California. So I had mentioned too that we do both cotton stretch and performance stretch. And so the thing that you'll, many of you will like about that is, even the style I'm wearing right now, it's we call it the sweatshirt. It looks almost like a fine gauge sweater. So if I went out to dinner, if I went out to an event, it almost looks like I'm dressier than I really am, but I have the comfort of what a sweatshirt would be. And so the styles that we do in cotton base give that ability to wear, in many places, and including the course. Our performance stretch, which is anything synthetic, which, obviously you're used to with a lot of the other brands, we have our take on it in Swet Tailor. It's a growing part of our business, whether it's bottoms, polos, quarter zips, other kind of tops or jackets. And so it's been received really well. And one thing you'll notice about Swet Tailor as you get more familiar with it, everything that we do either has stretch in it or it has some kind of soft fabric composition to it. And so the touch of Swet Tailor, the feel of it, how it washes and wears, that's where we win. And so when people touch it, which is why I'm excited, hopefully a lot of you can come and see us at PGA, because we're excited to actually show, because once you see it, it comes to life even more. So those are some of the reasons in terms of like what differentiates us, or, you know, how do we work through potentially trying to work with you, even if you have, you know, your current vendor structure. We try to be really flexible and test, and, you know, let's see if we can do an event together, or if we can get in a pro shop, let's see how it goes. And, you know, we can kind of move and groove depending on how sales are. So just know that flexibility is really important to us. And because Adam and I have been in the industry forever, we know that we need to cater and work with each of you separately, because you all have different needs, you all have different memberships. And one of the things that's nice about Swet Tailor is we sell from a younger, more modern eye all the way up to some very traditional and conservative clubs. So what we found is it's easy to take our brand and wear it in your style. And so we've been able to kind of transcend age, or transcend if somebody maybe is a little bit more forward in their dressing or a little bit more classic. So that's been exciting for us that people have caught on to that. Okay. So here are some of the, just, again, we're giving you just an idea collage of some of the styles that we do, whether it's zip hoodies, their button front shirts. Our pants are a key part of the Swet Tailor business. We recommend, there's 2 key pants that we do that are our biggest volume that we definitely would recommend when we put assortments in, you know, shorts for obviously for some of the clubs. But everything has a clean look about it. It's timeless. It can be worn alone, it can be layered, but everything is very comfortable and the prices are good. And, you know, I think you'll find that the colors are good. So we find that a lot of times men or women buying for their men find it very easy. Oh, I bought a shirt, I love it. Oh, I bought a pair of pants, I love it. You know, I want to get it in another color. And one thing you'll notice with us is that we try and carry as many sizes as possible. So in our pants that are key to our business, we carry 28, 30, 32, 34, 36 inch inseam. We go from like 28 to 40 waist. And then some of the pants now we go up to 44. And in one of them we go to 54. So we try to, as best we can, cater to almost everybody. And then we continue to evaluate that to see what other additional sizes that we need to add. But this kind of gives you a little bit of a feel of part of what Swet Tailor looks like. This is a little bit more of the performance stretch. So you can see, I know you can't touch it, but there's more synthetic fabrics on here. You've got tip polos, long sleeve rounded hem polos, quarter zips, other kind of polos, fairway joggers. So here, again, whether it's climate, warm weather, for stores that can't sell cotton, we've done really well since introducing performance stretch over the last couple of years, and it's a growing category for us. So oftentimes we like to blend both performance and cotton stretch lifestyle in our assortments in the clubs, and that's generally speaking been very successful for us. And it also creates a differentiation point from the other brands, which is really important to us, because we know if you're going to try something new, try a new brand, it has to have a reason to be. And so we try and make it very simple to differentiate maybe from what else that you have on your floor, because we know dollars are precious, you know, and with the economy not super fantastic right now, we need to give people a reason to buy. But we love the idea of bringing both cotton and performance lifestyle into your club, because why not have them buy it at the club instead of walking them to go shop online or in stores when you can, you know, save them at the club. And so we've been really happy with that. And then, you know, just the special orders that get generated once the membership starts to understand the product better and things like that. So it's kind of a collage of performance stretch right now. And Jim, chime in if I'm forgetting anything that you think is important.
No, I think you've hit most of it. I think that the key point is that we see golf differently. It doesn't need to be a polo. It doesn't need to be traditional, 5-pocket stretch, and we push the boundaries pretty well.
Yeah. What you'll find too is that we pick styling that customers, members are familiar with. We just adjust it slightly with fabric, and our fit isn't tight, it's not small, it's just not oversized. It has a little bit of shape to it, which we think looks better, whether you're lean or whether you're larger. So, we do our grading, but we do put a little bit of shape in the garments. And that's one thing that we've gotten a lot of positive feedback on, is not doing some of the bigger traditional fits. We can cover that when we do relaxed styles, or we can, go up in sizing, past double XL. So.
I have a question. Are you finding that there is more of a return coming to cotton? You know that you mentioned that you are incorporating that into your styling more.
Yeah, so what we have found is that cotton is one of those things that is all the time. And obviously, sometimes it's more important, sometimes it's less important. But for us, we have found that cotton stretch, that part of the business, continues to be very strong. It's got a nice hand. People can wear it everywhere. It's, it's not hot, it's not cold, it's breathable. There's so much more movement now to natural fabrics, sustainability, things that are eco-friendly, which are things that we're all working on and incorporating for Swet Tailor. And for us, it really gives us this ability to have product that also differentiates from the performance stretch. Many of the golf brands are very heavy in performance stretch. It's necessary for us to have it. We're excited how we've styled it and colored it and fit it. It's been doing really well for us, so it's growing. But again, we need to kind of come with a blended assortment so that it's different, because you don't want to duplicate your dollars. And being an ex-buyer, I know that better than anybody. So we try and think like that once we understand you better, more individually. Social media, so really quick, we're prevalent on, we do catalogs, we do Instagram, we do Twitter, we do Facebook. And for us, we really like to show how we feel like golf lifestyle is, because it's not only every day, but it's also vacation and it's also time off. It's some of people's favorite thing to do during the day, when they're at the club or they're at an event. Generally speaking, that's where they want to be over anything else that they're doing, as you all know. So our thing is how to look good, be comfortable, be able to wear it on and off the course. And I think if you kind of look at this collage in terms of our social media, just some examples, how we position it, we obviously make sure that we focus on golf and actually being on course, but you can see we pepper in not on course either. And we just find that the trend of men and women for men wanting clothing that can be multi-purpose continues to increase. So you'll continue to see from us this kind of blend of what we call golf, not golf. That's intentional, it's on purpose. And I think, we've covered, the reasons why earlier in terms of differentiation, but this kind of gives a little bit of a look at some examples of how we look on social media.
Beautiful. David, I do have a couple questions for you.
Sure.
What is the significance of the name? We have a question from Kevin on that.
Oh, that's great. So briefly, what happened is we started Swet Tailor with our all-in pant, which is our #1 item. And many of the clubs will do the all-in pant or they'll do the duo pant. But when the name was created, it was called Swet Tailor and it was SWEAT. And it was because we started with that all-in 5-pocket pant and the idea was tailored sweat. So we just flipped the order of it. And then after we were in business for the first year, maybe 2, we wanted to keep the branding, but we wanted to get rid of the sweat connotation because I think people were thinking the word sweat, you sweat in it, it's active, it's performance. And we're like, no, it's not that. So we had a very clever marketing person take the A out and now we did Swet Tailor, SWET. And I was like, this lady is brilliant. I thought it was very, very smart. So really it came from tailored sweats because the whole idea of a lot of the things we do is we have a lot of items that are, tailored, a lot of pants, we have jackets, we have blazers, polos, button front shirts, things that can be in the more tailored traditional market, but it's done in a more casual, but just dressy enough way. And so the name fits us, really perfectly, but we took the A out, which
Awesome.
I thought was very smart. Yeah.
That's very clever.
Yeah.
Do you have representation on the tour?
So, and Jim, I know you can speak to this a little bit more. We're continuing to grow with players who are playing, influencers, ambassadors, events, and things like that. So yes, but there's still a lot of opportunity to grow there.
Yeah, I would agree. And we've got let's see, Blake Wagner, Eric Flores, some kid by the name of Jack Ireland, that are all playing some combination of Korn Ferry, Asia, developmental tour, occasionally a PGA Tour event, DP World Tour. The tour is important to us, but it's not the most important thing. We focus both on a group of what we believe are developing tour players, as well as a group of ambassadors that are more instructors. What we love to provide from a social media content in a quote unquote tour representation is some value. And if you're going to see more and more next year where whether it's a tour player or it's an instructor, where they're providing input to the consumer about things they enjoy. It could be about golf, but it also could be about travel, it could be about food, it could be about entertainment, because that's kind of really who we are as a company, as opposed to this singular PGA Tour focused brand. Having said that, we have had many discussions with many PGA Tour players, a couple of Live Tour players. The right situation comes along, we may jump at that, but it's not something that is the singular focus of what we're trying to do from a branding standpoint.
Excellent.
Yep.
What year were you founded? We have lots of questions right now.
Yeah.
Kevin came in hot.
Yeah. We launched online in 2015. So we have been around for 7 years, going on 8. It feels like 15. So yeah, we started 7 years ago.
And then how much experience do you personally have in apparel?
Yeah, so I graduated college in '94, and I have been in the industry since graduating college of January '94, so 30 years almost. A lot of women's background, a lot of men's, fitness, sports, sportswear, like I said, buying side, sales side, manufacturing side, entrepreneurial side. I deal with all the factories, so all the sourcing, the fabrics, the trims, the shipping, the accounting, the design, merchandising, buying, approvals. I have my hands in a lot of stuff, but I've been around for a while. So I feel really grateful that I've been able to apply all the experience that I've had to Swet Tailor, and then how we've been able to expand in different categories, including golf over, and we started to expand in golf over the last 3 years. We grew significantly in golf last year. And now that we have more reps regionally, and we're continuing to add more, and we're on Rep Spark, which we'll talk about in a little bit. We are making our footprint more national more quickly. And we also are involved in a lot of pro sports outside of golf, whether it's football, basketball, baseball. And there's this overlap, especially with players in pro sports who golf, whether they're retired or not. And so our arsenal of people that are very golf friendly, whether they're investors for us, supporters of the brand, ambassadors, and to your question, when the right players come along, we have our hands in that. And it's really, we've done a lot of events actually with retired NFL players that they're very big on golf in different parts of the country, and they've been very successful for us. So we're really one of those brands that we want to come, we want to be in person, we want you to see our stuff, we want you to touch and feel, whether it's a trade show or if it makes sense and we can actually do an event at the club. It always ends up being very successful for us, because I think to feel and touch, we're all like that. It makes a lot more sense. So
excellent. And then one final question, are your pants all performance stretch, or do you have cotton stretch?
So our top 2 pants, the all-in pant and the duo pant, are actually cotton based. They have other components to them, stretch. So those are popular at all the clubs. Typically people buy one or the other, some buy both, depending on the membership. And then we also have performance stretch. So we have nylon spandex and poly spandex. We're doing really well with our fairway joggers. We have this whole new, what we call tech stretch pant and short coming out that we're super excited with in early spring 2023, as well as other things that are coming. So we have a blend. We technically sell more cotton right now. And what's interesting is at the clubs, those 2 pants are our biggest volume drivers. And then around it are, polos and shirts and sweatshirts and joggers and hoodies and things like that. So it's been interesting for us to see clubs shifting over the last couple years in terms of not just always buying the same formula that has, been prevalent in the past. So, there's a lot of things that are adjusting and changing. So it's been very interesting, those conversations that we're having with people. Yeah.
I have so many questions coming in. If you do want me to keep going right now?
Yes. Yeah. That would be great.
Asa is asking if you have a dry fit tee.
So we have coming out in February, a really interesting, super buttery soft. We call it Heathered Performance. It's a synthetic kind of dry fit fabric. We have it in a tee, a sleeveless, which, again, you can buy for lifestyle. We have it in a couple bottoms and then a long sleeve crew. And I'm so excited to bring it to PGA because it also puts us in that, what I call golf, tennis, pickleball, hiking, outdoor activity type thing. And I won't compare it to other brands, but I really think that this fabric is going to be really well received. And I feel like if you're able to see us when we are at PGA or whenever, it's just one of those things, you touch it and people are like, oh my God, this is amazing. So the answer is yes, it's coming in the next couple months. Yeah.
Awesome. That's very exciting.
Yeah. It's really cool. And it's just, listen, it helps us stay true to the brand. It's soft. It has stretch, which are key things for Swet Tailor. And you can wear it in a lot of places. It's a nice enough tee or a long sleeve that you could wear it outside of outdoor activities. So it'll be interesting to see when people see it. Yeah.
Megan's asking if you're currently selling into Canada.
Not yet. We met with a couple reps who are working on what it looks like when we ship our inventory from California to do the duty thing to cross the border in Canada. So TBD on that, but we're in talks with them, versus a more easier system, which is when you get on a formula from shipping, from overseas direct to China or Canada without the duties. So Canada is wide open for us right now.
Awesome. There's a question here about what are your top accounts. I believe you have a video or a slide showing that. Maybe we'll come back to that.
Yeah, sure. I was gonna say, I think that's listed somewhere, and yeah. But generally speaking, just so people know, we started dominantly in Southern California. That's where we're based. It's where a lot of our pop-up events and clubs that gave us the first opportunities, because it's where we are at Southern California. You can golf all year. So we've been dominant in Southern California, and then we've been expanding to Northern, Arizona, Texas, Florida, Southeast. We have reps that are going right now, Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana. So it's been more West Coast with some East Coast and a little bit in the middle. And we're kind of just rolling out across the country so far. And if I take our not golf business, which is sportswear, we're all over. We're in small towns, big towns, Midwest, Northeast, Northwest. We're all over the place.
That's wonderful. Danielle's asking if you have any that would cater to racket sports. And then Allison came on and recommended your performance to polo racket as well.
Yeah. So college tennis player. So Adam's a way better golfer than I am, as is Jim. So any of the performance fabrics work in tennis. The new fabrics that we were just talking about are perfect for tennis. And we have some other fabrics coming in 2023 to kind of expand that option pool for what I call golf, tennis, pickleball, traditionally at the club. So yeah, we have a few styles and it's expanding.
Excellent.
We always do things intentionally because we want to start with a collection that is manageable for a club. And then once we get more traction, then we like to expand colorways, new silhouettes, new styles. And, and listen, everything's so seasonless now, even though we all have seasonality depending on where we live with travel, people buying, having the option online. We sell shorts all year long now. We sell both pants and shorts to clubs, even in humid climates, because there's air conditioning and people travel. So it's very interesting what's happening out there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Are there any programs you're offering AGM members?
Are there any products that were, you mean like exclusive?
No, programs.
Jim, that would be a Jim question.
Yeah, we don't exactly have a specific quote unquote AGM program. I think that's something we'll look at here between now and the PGA show. We will be at the AGM. I'm not sure I used the right term, Tracy and Jen conference
preview.
on Tuesday. And I think between now and then, I think we'll come up with something that's very specific to AGM. It's not a secret. I'm a huge AGM fan. I'm a huge fan of Dasan's. Thrilled to see that she's finally going to slow down. I'm a huge fan of Tracy and Jen's and what all of you do, because it's what I've done in terms of you being my customer. So you will get all of our support and priority being an AGM member.
Thank you, Jim. One more question, then we'll go back for it a little bit. Do your pants have different hem lengths?
Yeah, so the two key pants that I refer to, the all-in and the duo, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36 inseams. And then the waists all go from 28 to 40. We have some that go down to 24. We have some now that are going up to 44, and we have one that goes up to 54. So we have noticed that the first thing people tend to come to Swet Tailor for is our pants, because the fabric is so fantastic. And we tend to find that if you want multiple member sales, the pants is the right way to go. And then, spread it around with other styles. What we also do too is when we introduce a new style, we may start with like a 32-inch inseam and 30-inch inseam. And then once we get more traction, then we'll add some of the taller lengths type thing. Just because, as all know, usually when you have pants, you can carry all the inventory in store, or you can buy 32-inch inseams, and then we can ship out 30, 34, as special orders as needed. So we work with clubs that way, or hey, we started with 32 and we have a lot of members that need 30 and we want to carry both lengths. So we try and have a variety, because pants are important and we don't want to have people hem. So
excellent. All right, I'm going to move on for right now. Here's the answer to some of the top courses.
Yeah, so we like I said, we've been strong in Southern California, and then we've made our way through events and through other ways, across the country. So we have a lot of upside in terms of being able to be a new brand in many, many states and markets. So in Golfland, in terms of memberships and clubs, there is not a lot of competition yet in terms of being all over the country. So just something else to think about. And and we pay attention to distance between clubs, and if somebody starts with us, and we're very open about those conversations to make sure that we're doing whatever we can to protect your business, and we do images, and if we can do events, we do it as well. So, and it's interesting because whether it's the desert, SoCal, some of these clubs that Alabama, Texas, Florida, we have this blend of memberships that have changed, where you've got this younger crowd mixed with the traditional crowd. And then we have clubs that we do business with that are very traditional and classic. And so for us, it's very easy to take our assortments and, work with pro shop buyers, the pro, to be able to do something that works for you. But what's been fun is that we've been able to teach clubs, if you will, that they can sell things that they maybe thought they couldn't. And so, we have a lot of information, and we're happy to guide and direct. And then, if for some reason there's issues, we swap and trade, and, oh, hey, the polos were great, but we need to buy, bigger sizes for you. Or, oh, wait, that short didn't work. Okay, let's take it back and let's ship this one instead. So, we're very big on doing that, because, we need to all be successful together.
David, I really appreciate that, because it really is, golf truly is a relationship business, and you offering that trust to the buyer and helping them there, and then helping them make adjustments if needed. I think that goes a really long way to protecting your customers.
We agree. Adam, Jim, and I both have either been in life or still in life, in the country club business, whether it's golf, tennis, or whatever. So we know the specialness of it. We know sort of the community familyness of it. We know the trust that needs to be there. And listen, they listen to you when you guide them and when they're buying in the pro shop. So we want the experience to be good. And if there's an issue, we like to fix it right away. So yeah, agree.
David,
Couldn't
have you
agree more.
talked about, since I skipped town for a while, have you talked about your turnaround for tournaments and your logo charges and who does your logoing and that stuff yet?
Sure. So I'm going to start, and Jim, please feel free to chime in. So when we do buys from stock, we can ship all of you that same week, no problem. If we decorate, embroidery, printing, any kind of decoration, we have a few places down in Orange County. The major one we use is Vantage. Jim can talk about it a little bit. I'm sure many of you are familiar. Super big, reputable, they're fantastic. For us, it depends on what's going on in their capacity, but generally speaking, we find we can ship it from our LA warehouse within a day or two of getting the order. If somebody wants goods right away, we ship it down to Orange County, which just takes a day. And then they usually take 7 to 10 days. Sometimes it's 12 business days. Generally speaking, it's 7 to 10. And then we will ship it out from Orange County to the club. And it's not uncommon for clubs to buy logo and non-logo on the same order. So we'll ship, we ship one from the warehouse and then one from the decorator. Yeah. So we've been really happy with Vantage.
Yep.
And tell about your very low logo fees, because they are.
Yeah. And now I'll quote this, and people will be like, "Hey, wait a second!" But on the webinar, you said this. Generally speaking, and please, Jim, chime in case I'm forgetting something. Oftentimes, we're in the 35-cent range, 50-cent range. It's unless something is elaborate and huge, we don't mark it up. We try and just pass the cost on. And so there are times when you have events and things that maybe things are larger, you have multiple locations where you need them. Generally speaking, we find it's in that range. And Jim, please chime in if I'm forgetting something, since you deal with it.
I think the only other thing, David, that I would add is that we chose to work with Vantage for a very specific reason, in that they have done almost every golf club in the country, it feels like, logo, and it allows us to be able to shortcut the process to be able to just approve what's on file with them, as opposed to asking, this is the bane of all the buyers and the reps. Yeah. Hey, do you have the art? I need the art. Do you have a DST file? Do you have an AI file? What do you have? And then we can make the thing a little bit easier. The goal, as David said, is make this easy. It doesn't need to be difficult.
Yep.
So your price for people to apply a logo for me buying from you is $3.50. I think you said 35 cents. I think that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
$3.50, right?
Yeah.
Which is still quite low in the industry right now. Yeah. So we're still thankful for that. But I do want to clarify that.
$3.50. Yeah, I appreciate that. There's a project that we're working on this week for something else that's 35 cents. So that's what's in my head. And I thought I could multitask. Yeah. So, well, it's raining here. I'm in Oakland and it's gray. So events, just really quick. So it is important for any of you who don't know us to know that we love events. And I think events are something that continue to be important, whether it's at the club level or on the tour. And we love to be present where it makes sense. We can bring Swet Tailor product. We can decorate it. If we can plan it ahead of time, here's just a list of some of the various events that we've done within the last year. Some of them are outside of golf, but both Adam and I have development and private label backgrounds. So it's very easy for us to customize. It's very easy for us to put together an event with you. And what's great about it is that a lot of times at these events, people are like, "Oh my God, I don't know this brand. This is so great. Where do we get it? How do we get more?" And so it's nice sometimes to have something gifty, if you will. And some of our styles right now can be unisex in terms of women being able to buy it for themselves until we truly roll out women. So it gives us the opportunity to engage, get to know the memberships better, get to know people better. So if you do have events coming up and it works, and we're connected as we go forward, we love the chance to be able to do that for you and do something different, because people your membership, they're always looking for, hey, what's different, what's new, what can I and they can try stuff on, and it's great. So
oh, this one's exciting. This is going to be very exciting to our AGM membership.
Yep. Jim, you've done all the work for it, so please feel free.
Well, I haven't done all the work, that's for sure, but just like I'm a big fan of AGM, I'm a big fan of RepSpark because I think what they do for us and they do for you as an AGM member, if you are, if you're using RepSpark, if you're not, I highly suggest it. I sound like a sales pitch for them, but it gives you real-time inventory in a very simple format from the vendors that are using RepSpark. I was a rep. Most of you guys who know me know I was rep for a long time. And what was the biggest struggle was, is it in stock? Does the rep have access to real-time inventory? Can you get hold of the rep? How do I communicate that? And RepSpark just shortcuts that whole process to be able to understand what they've got in inventory, what colors they've got it. Can I put the order in? And it's as simple and as easy as an order writing program as I've ever seen. And I go all the way back. I think Chris Lechner either was on this call or has been on this call, but I go back to the RepSpark days when they first got in the business, and I was at Greg Norman Collection and we pioneered that thing with them. And it just changed the whole game because it allowed both me as a rep at the time and now you as a customer to be able to place your orders. I got a little threatened by it from the standpoint as a rep. It was like, wait a minute, I'm coming out of the equation. But as Julie Kazire, who was on the call and will testify, a lot of times you don't need the input of a rep on the road. If you've touched and felt the fabric at a show, PGA show, regional show, and you know what you want to do, this is a very simple, easy way to do it, not only on a stock order, but potentially on a tournament order, or maybe most importantly, a special order. And you can tell your customer right there, yes, it's in inventory. They have it, it'll ship within 48 hours. And there's not a lot of downtime. And we all have enough email, texts, and phone calls. This RepSpark definitely saves those. And we've already seen the level of engagement on customer requests and orders. It's going to be a big game change for us growing the business, not only in golf, but in specialty retail as well.
And they also have their interface with Golf Genius, which a lot of the clubs use for tournaments and the ability to do the microsites. I think a lot of people on here probably were on that webinar that we did,
Great.
Which to me is huge, especially for a line like this would be ideal for a microsite for a tournament to introduce it, or even just to introduce it via that method. And the RepSpark connection gives you that ability.
So back to the question about, who are some of your bigger, clubs or accounts? We were able to get a lot of opportunity early on because we were able to do trunk shows, or we were able to do things for the tournament. And so what would happen is people would either call and say, oh my God, I don't have any goods from somebody else. What do you have? And we would give them options that we could do quickly. And then if people give us a little bit of time there, we can give more options in terms of different things that we could do. So again, we always say, just pick up the phone. Let's talk about it, because oftentimes we may have a few different options or suggestions. And, listen, we've just learned that for all the reasons I've said before, any kind of tournament, any kind of event, I just think it brings that community and membership together. And we're all about it because it's a great way for us to let people know who we are, face to face. So.
Okay, should we try the video here?
There may be some follow-ups after, which we're happy to respond to, because I know sometimes things come up after, so it's not a problem.
Yeah, the thing I would share about that, if you have questions after, we're real easy. It's either jim@swettailor.com or david@swettailor.com.
My name is Adam Bolden, CEO and co-founder of Swet Tailor.
I'm professional golfer Eric Flores.
We're going to talk about the history of golf attire and how Swet Tailor is making an impact today.
So we're going to go out there and chop it up a little bit, talk some shop. Hopefully Adam doesn't chop it up too bad.
I can't make any promises that I won't hike up this course, but I'll have a lot of fun doing it.
All right, let's go. So Adam, talk me through the beginnings of Swet Tailor in 2015. What were your goals with the brand? What did you set out to accomplish with it?
We set out to be a direct consumer men's brand that redefines what this new casual look, wardrobe, and lifestyle would look like. So it was making an alternative to jeans or a chino pant. So we created the all-in pant, which is a 5-pocket cotton spandex blended pant that looks like a jean, but it feels like your favorite sweatpant ever.
But they look great. They look like polished, you know, trousers or slacks even. You know, maybe not like a full, like, you know, pressed slacks, but they're flat front. They're just good. I mean, they just feel really good.
We noticed a ton of professional golfers were wearing our all-in pants and our duo pants. Eric Flores, case in point. That's Kevin Chappell, that's you, DJ Trahan, and so on and so forth. We recognized that there was a further need for some performance wear in golf. So what we did over the last year and a half was we created a fairway jogger, which is a nylon spandex blend that looks like a chino from the front and has a little bit of like a rib cuff on the back. So that way, it's almost like a commuter trouser, if you will. You can wear it to the office, you can wear it to travel, and you can certainly wear it to play golf in. It's lightweight, it's water resistant, and it breathes extremely well. A lot of the feedback we've received from customers over the last few years or so is, hey, I wear your stuff religiously on the golf course because if I'm cutting out of work at like 4 o'clock, I don't have to go into a locker room or grab clothes out of my trunk and change. I can seamlessly just go into work, go into golf, and go back home. No one's gonna nag me about playing golf. So it's almost like the work hack. Or if you're nearby a course and you go take an hour lunch break, you can go hit some balls. Like, you don't have to change your outfit.
Well, that's where you guys have done a really great job, just providing something that I can wear, not only like different weather situations, but in performance with the stretch, the feel, and I can go out to eat right afterwards. All right, Adam, so Pebble Beach, AT&T Pro-Am, Kevin Chappell, an old teammate of mine at UCLA, was wearing one of your hoodies on the golf course, on the PGA Tour, mind you, and sparked a huge online debate. The traditionalists were coming out of the woodwork saying you can't wear hoodies on the golf course. All the young guys are like, but we like them and they're comfortable. Like, how was that for you guys?
And it was a huge validating moment for both Swet Tailor, because our best-selling hoodie online was now to become our best-selling hoodie in the country clubs in Orange County, all the way up to Northern California, but also in golf.
It honestly has been like part of a movement in golf going towards different fashion and really streetwear hitting the golf links, and that's been really cool to watch.
Yeah, I mean, look, the lightweight Swet hoodie is great for warm weather and cool weather and all things in between.
The hoodie is a performance piece.
Yes.
It's something that's gonna keep you warmer. It's something that's just gonna like cover you in windy situations or any cold situations. It's a functional item.
It's a functional, comfortable piece. It absolutely belongs in golf. We had a singular focus in the marketplace. It was enter the marketplace in pants, and over time, as we learn more about our customer, we can develop a whole entire lifestyle piece. And you know, over the last 5 years or so, we've done a decent job of rounding out what a lifestyle collection should look like.
All right, guys, this is the end. We've had an amazing day out here. Adam, thanks for coming out from LA and visiting.
Yeah, thanks for hosting me today. I had a wonderful time. You look great in our clothes. You're an even better golfer. I aspire to be more like you every day for the rest of my life, at least in golf.
That's awesome, man. All right, guys, we'll see you later.
So who knew that you guys were the ones that started the whole hoodie debate?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's interesting because if you look at our hoodies, we purposely do them clean, or even if we put a pocket in it, it's a subtle zip pocket where you can functionally put, you know, your keys or your scorecard. And we did that on purpose because we wanted it to be nice enough to wear on the course, but also nice enough that you could wear it alone or layer it anywhere, you know, and not be too casual. So yeah, it was kind of funny when that happened.
I like the side zip, you know, that it zips up the side for, you know, just for extra movement or whatever too. It's a little bit more breathability as well too, if it's warmer.
Yeah, and even there where he showed the side zip, I know they couldn't catch us, but in the front, you know, normally sweatshirts have what we call a kangaroo pocket. But what we do is we put the two slits, and it has a pocket in there, but we put small little zips on each side, so that way they close and it's functional. So we try and think about when people are on the move, just in their life, but also on the course, where do they put their cards or their keys or their this or their that, so they're close. So we try and keep functionality in mind when we design.
Awesome. Any
Yeah.
other questions from people?
Yeah.
So
No,
what's,
you know,
I have one. What's your booth number at the show?
oh, Jim, I need you for this one.
Yeah, I got this one memorized. 5860. Right in the heart.
5860. You're not
Right in
too
the
far
heart.
from the AGM, which is 4961.
That's what was by design.
Yeah.
Oh, by design, okay.
There was a question just came in about our logo. So we purposely are very minimalist on our clothing. So even when we do a logo, we try and do it tonal, we try and do it subtle. Sometimes it's contrast. And we do that because of course we want our brand out there. But we also want people to be able to wear the clothes as much as possible. And sometimes when you over logo, you can't wear it everywhere. So what we did is we played around a little bit with the word sweat, but what we've landed on more often and will continue to is we have this crown. And so the crown actually, I don't know if you can tell, but it's three people like in stick figure land that are actually connected, but it has a crown look to it. So we call it the crown logo, obviously. We liked the icon. We wanted something that was strong, that we liked, that we thought was timeless. And it just, so we played around with a lot of different things and we ended up coming up with that. So oftentimes, you know, we may do a left chest, very common for us to do left shoulder, maybe on the left hem, sometimes on the back yoke. We try and keep it subtle. And we haven't had issues with when clubs want a logo, we'll either logo right over it or we'll do the other arm. So it's so far so good. But anyways, that's kind of what happened. So yeah.
Good. So be sure and stop by booth 5860 and say thanks in person to David and Jim for a great session this afternoon. I'm sorry that I skipped out on part of it, but really interesting and about the changing lifestyles in golf and some reasons to experiment with that in your shops because they're going to buy it somewhere, right? So let them come and buy it from you.
Yeah.
So, again, reminder for the PGA show, AGM conference. Hope to see you all there. And I hope you all have wonderful holidays in the meantime. And thanks again, David and Jim and Jennifer. Thanks for picking up where I left off. It's a good team here.
Yeah. And thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. We really, to have the opportunity to kind of tell you more about the brand and then be able to see you in person very soon will be great. We love to have those conversations and show you more in person, and we think it will come to life even more. So thank you.